I really don't think there's a better time to return to podcasting than right now. Like the end of the year shit is so much fun to do. And you spend like the whole year watching movies, making a list, and you think what's important and what's not important, and what is going to stick with me and what won't. And then you reduce it to a list of 10. Most people do 10. I can't do that because it really makes me sad. So
It
I
would
do
be
25.
sacrilegious.
Yeah, it would be, right? I do 25. And so in this podcast, I guess I didn't even intro. This is cold open. We're going over the top 25 movies of 2024, including to us over
Your
at the
list,
CineClwd Podcast. Really, it's my
mostly.
list. It's
Yeah,
my.
it's
I
your
don't
list.
take anybody else's opinion. Yeah, I'm the host of the CineClwd Podcast, and I say we. I'm talking about me. My name is Nick. That's it. I'm the host of the CineClwd Podcast. I'm joined by my very good friend, who shares the same name as me, but let's not get it confused. He is Nick with the letter L. So Nick L.
That's me.
He's going to be with me along this ride as we present the list of the top 25 movies of 2024, including according to us, according to me, really. I want to specify that this list isn't like the end all be all of movies. Some people like base their opinion on movies according to a score or where does it rank in the filmography or just watch every movie.
How impactful was it to the world of cinema?
Well, yeah, but that's bullshit. Like,
Yeah, it is.
just watch the movie for yourself, and you might like it, you might not. As you're gonna see, there's movies on this list that I just watched for myself, and I just said, yeah, this is the one. Like, I didn't. Let's just say critic consensus was not followed on every single movie on this list.
Although there's a
So-
correlation, there are some caveats. Like, it's not. You'll see.
Yeah, we definitely got some that were in agreement. Obviously, good movies are what we try to aim to see, but there are some movies that were panned that made this list for some odd reason that we'll get into later. But we got 25 of these to cover, so we're just gonna get right into it right away.
Number
Whoa. I made a mistake.
Oh my God.
We got 25 movies to cover, but we have honorable mentions before.
Yeah, true.
Honorable mentions. Bang.
There
Let's
you go.
do it.
Beautiful
So-
work on the Photoshop.
I feel like a 6-year-old. I feel like a 12-year-old doing a PowerPoint presentation for their class. On the top bar, we have His Three Daughters, Monkey Man, I Used to Be Funny, Ordinary Angels, Snack Shack, Strange Darling. On the bottom row, The Bike Riders, Late Night with the Devil, The Fall Guy, Alien Romulus, and Blink Twice. All of these movies are awesome. I think they're all worth watching. I think they would have made my list if I had 11 more spots, but I don't. So,
Which one out of
That's
all
it.
of these would you keep?
literally the one that just missed out was His Three Daughters. And the one that's furthest from the list is Alien Romulus. If that makes any sense. I think His Three Daughters is absolutely amazing. I just don't think it worked. It didn't crack. When I had to condense it to 25 movies, it couldn't crack it. Just to say, I'll give them all one sentence. I think Monkey Man is a phenomenal work of art. It's an absolute passion project that I can only aspire to reach that level of desire to create, like in my life, like Dev Patel did with Monkey Man. I think it's beautiful. I Used to Be Funny is not funny at all. It's actually quite telling. It's a this remarkable story of what it is to be on the other side of comedy, if you will. Ordinary Angels, it doesn't get more wholesome than this. This is the big crier of the year. Came out in February of 2024. It's just awesome. Snack Shack is a movie that I want to make. It's just like it's your first project coming out of film school. Like you just want to make a coming of age about two guys who sell hot dogs over the summer. And that's what Snack Shack is. Strange Darling, an indie masterpiece. It's like a cat and mouse game. It's really special. It's tense. It's the most fun I've had on a like thriller of the like action thriller type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just really takes you on a ride from start to finish. There's no dull moments. It's really cool. Right below it, Blink Twice. This is a directorial debut with a whole lot of money and a whole lot of name. And Zoe Kravitz steps up to the plate. She delivers this movie that is like complex. Sometimes it steps over its own feet. I just love it because it's ambitious. And Channing Tatum's in it, and he delivers like a performance that I've never seen him do. Like, he hasn't sniffed that level of greatness in a long time.
Except as the Gambit.
Oh yeah, no. They call me the Gambit.
I'm sorry.
He's awesome.
I'm sorry.
He's really good at the Gambit. Yeah, no, he's good at the Gambit. On the left, Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus is a return to form for Alien. I think it's the best Alien project since Aliens, the sequel. I think that the movie is a great time, but again, it didn't crack a top 25. My top 25, it's just a great time at the movies. It's cool to have the aliens back. Another great time at the movies, The Fall Guys. It doesn't get more summer blockbuster than Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt jumping off, exploding stuff, and just summer PG-13 summer blockbuster. A good one, though. To the left of that, Late Night with the Devil. David Dastmalchian's handed his starring role in the movie. It's a horror movie. It doesn't disappoint. It's awesome. It's like late night TV. I love the style, the aesthetic. It's inspiring because it goes to show that you could use anything at your disposal to make a cohesive narrative. Even if that thing might be AI. But they used AI in a couple still shots, but it didn't matter. To the left of that, The Bike Riders. The Bike Riders is just a really solid movie. It's just like, one of those movies that's just bulletproof. Like, you're trying to find something wrong. You're like, there's really nothing wrong with The Bike Riders. It's just not my favorite. It wasn't my 25 favorite. That's why it's here. Because it's good and it deserves its flowers, but it's not my top 25 favorite. Had to get out a cough there. But what is my top 25 favorite? Number 25, Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez is my introduction to this type of movie. It's my introduction to director Jacques Audiard. I can't say his name, whatever. Emilia Perez is complicated. It's convoluted. Some would call it messy. I call it artsy and inspiring. It's beautiful. It's a wild ride. It is exhausting, but it's so like remarkable. Between Zoe Saldana, Selena Gomez, Sofia Gascon, and those are the big three in the movie. They act like they're absolutely amazing. They deserve the praise.
I have a question for you, though, in terms of like this point. I know that for a lot of people, this movie is going to be way higher up their list. Would you be able to like tell me why specifically you like chose it as your like introductory movie? You think
Emilia Perez is higher or lower?
Like, no, I'm asking you, why did you put it there? Because, like, to be honest, it's one of the movies on your list that I haven't seen, but I know from the public reception that it was very much well received.
Yeah, so it's at 25 for me, not because of public perception. Like, the way I see it is not about public reception or not. To me, it's just, for a lot of people, like, depending on who you ask, this is a movie that, like, some critics were like, this is the best thing of the year. And other people were like, this is a giant piece of crap. And I sit at a place where I'm like, this is not a piece of crap. It cannot be a piece of crap. People don't put time and effort into this original idea. And it's not bad. The movie's far from bad. I would not say it's the best thing I saw all year, though. However, where Emilia Perez won me over is the effort, the art, the like brilliance, the spectacle of it all. It's like going to see a show on Broadway, and it might not be your favorite story, but you're watching something that feels bigger than you. You know what I mean? Watching Emilia Perez as an aspiring filmmaker made me feel so far away from that level of filmmaking, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm like, this guy he's firing on all cylinders. Everything he does in this movie is like meticulously made with the utmost detail to convey a message, a nod, a story, push something, you know what I mean? And it's crazy. Emilia Perez is beautiful. It's not the best, it's not my favorite, but it is beautiful. It is a work of art. I think when I saw it, and I was talking to you about it after the first time I saw it, I compared it to like a museum painting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, it's not your favorite, but it's beautiful.
The fact that it's there, you have no choice but to acknowledge it. And I think that given that, it's very fair that you placed it where you placed it.
Yeah. Just kicks off the list at 25. 2024, another movie that's just like, whoa, 2020, 24, Kinds of Kindness. Yorgos Lanthimos this is like, he fired again after firing off one of the best movies of last year, which you just saw recently.
Yeah, I just saw it.
In Poor Things,
that
he
is.
fires another shot with Kinds of Kindness, which literally was how many months later? Like months later. I think
9 to 10.
Yeah, it was like eight. Fires off Kinds of Kindness, and this movie is an 160-minute, 3-part story with some of the best actors on this planet. We're talking Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley, Hong Chow, Joe Alwyn's in this, Hunter Schafer's in this. You're taking these people and you're putting them as, they're all play 3 different characters, and you're bringing them into these different stories. You're critiquing society in a way that after the first watch, I was extremely confused. And then after I thought about it more and more, this movie really like eats at you. It ate at me anyway. It was like, I felt like that one, I'm getting over bronchitis. I keep coughing. I felt like that one, a meme from Breaking Bad, when it's Jesse Pinkman and he's like, he can't keep getting away with it. That. Yeah. And I was like, why, how did Yorgos do this again? Because this is really it's pushing 3 hours. It's 240, and it's a whole lot of nonsense, frankly. Like, you're seeing a lot of things that don't really appear to be cohesive. They don't make sense, but it's very cryptic. It's very artsy. And it feels lost in some areas until you reach a mental state where you're able to understand that this is intentional. This is his cohesive narrative. You're supposed to feel this way. The log line of the movie is, we might all be in danger. And when you really think of what Yorgos is saying when it comes to this movie, you do feel that way. And I don't think Emma Stone or Jesse Plemons or Willem Dafoe are going to get any credit for their performances in this movie in award season. But because of the fact that they play multiple characters, they're amazing. All of them are amazing. And Yorgos is a director that I recently got into, especially with Poor Things. And when this one came out, I said I have to see his follow-up, and I'm happy I did. Poor Things did rank higher for me on last year's list than this one did on this year's list, but there's still 2 top 25 movies in my book. He's become a director to like look out for. I want to know who he's working with, and I want to know when they're coming. You know what I mean? So that's
and
why
given his release schedule, we might get another one soon too.
Oh yeah, he's firing. Yeah. I think he's making something else. I think he's already working with he's making Bugonia with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons again. So
he found his crew and
2025. Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, it's great. It's great because you do have 2 of the best actors of your generation, really, when you think about the crew he set himself up with.
Yep.
So yeah.
And the fact that he's able to like crank them out too, like that has to be like a big part for like, because you know how like you're gonna get someone like Matt Reeves that takes 5 years to like finish a script.
I like how you're firing shot at him. Like, let him know you're not happy the Batman 2's
let him know. Like, you look at this dude that's like releasing a movie every 10 months that is like always around 4 to 4.5 to 5 stars. Like, there's something in that recipe.
It's consistent greatness. It's really like impressive.
You're in the flow, and it's just about maintaining that flow,
He is in a flow state, and he's in a flow state, I find, just to touch on Yorgos, he's like in a flow state of societal commentary too. Like he's got this vision of like maybe a utopia or maybe a criticism that he's trying to lay out, and he's doing it through art, which is honestly, in my opinion, like, go figure, it's the most beautiful way to criticize anything. Is to make it in your art, and he does such a good job at it.
And what I love a lot about Yorgos is how in control and in understanding he is of his ideas, because you wouldn't be able to get a result like the 2 movies that we just spoke of without complete control and belief in whatever you think, and in the process in which you put that to the screen as well. Like, that is what I found most like impressive with him.
It is. It really is. And ironically, just to add on what you're saying, he's in control, and you would feel like there's a total lack of discipline, but everything's intentional. Like especially when you think of Kinds of Kindness and Poor Things, there's scenes in this movie that you're like, oh, okay, he's gone off the rocker. Like this is crazy. Now we're watching something crazy, you know. And I know you just saw Poor Things. I know there's those scenes in this one as well. But no, it's if anything, he's pushing the envelope with the control of his ideas. He knows how far he can go to make his point with keeping control on the point he's trying to make. It makes for a really, really interesting movie. If you haven't seen Kinds of Kindness, you should watch Kinds of Kindness. I'm going to skip ahead to 2020, 23. I keep saying 2023. 23, which is, I feel like this is just a shitter.
That is. I'm like, it's time to click off. It's time to click off.
I'm on my meme shit. No, I'm not. Twisters was a fucking blockbuster, man. Like, how can you hate? Like, you know what? So like, if you look at my phase as I've grown to love cinema, when I was a kid, all I knew was blockbusters. Like, I knew of Star Wars and Spider-Man, and I would go see superhero movies or big action movies or James Bond, whatever big release was coming out. That's what I went to see. I vividly remember watching The Adventures of Tintin in the movie theater. So again, these are all blockbuster big movies, you know. And as I've gotten older, more into film, I grown to like resent the blockbuster. I'm like, you're eating up screens and you're taking it away from the small men who are trying to make art. And then I realized that I couldn't find a independent theater. Now that I have those, I love everybody. But Twisters made me feel like
I just needed a safe space.
I needed a safe space
to express his love for the craft.
I love the craft, but Twisters made me feel like a kid. Like, it made me feel like that was the big release of the, like, obviously there's one other big release of the summer, but I felt like Twisters was the big release of the summer. Like, it was the action movie. It starred Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones, and it was a remake of a reboot of the 1990s Twister.
Something.
And you're just like, it felt larger than life. It got IMAX and it got a rollout and it got premieres.
And there's more than one tornado.
There's more than one tornado. And then I sat down and I was like, this is probably going to be a piece of garbage. Because I'm like, it's just another typical blockbuster.
Dare you doubt Glenn Powell like that?
And then I was like, I fucking love you, Glenn Powell. And I watched the movie. I had a great time. It was a great summer movie, great summer blockbuster. They released a full country album to go with it. I heard it on the radio. I heard it everywhere I went. It just made me feel like, it felt like Twisters was back. And it felt like the movies were back, because that I don't know how much money Twisters made, but it was a lot.
You want to know something crazy though?
Tell me.
You want to know like what happens around Twisters that like I love the most for like the wrong reason?
The Charlie XCX dance?
Nope. Oh, no, it's random. You won't guess it.
No, I'm not gonna guess it. Then go ahead.
Anytime you go on like a B channel on your TV, like you're scrolling through the channels, all you saw was Sharknado on repeat, and I'm talking all
like when you go on Movie Time or like or Spike TV, Sci-Fi.
Sharknado for a week. Like I was like walking downstairs, looking at to see what my dad was watching. Sharknado. Next day,
have you ever seen Sharknado
4? Yes, I did. It's crazy.
They're fucking banging, bro. Those are not bad movies.
I don't know.
I mean,
I would. You know what?
Bad. Maybe they're good movies for the mentally impaired.
For them. Kudos for you to just enjoy that kind of shit.
I enjoy a lot of shit. Hey, I got Twisters ranked about Kinds of Kindness and Emilia Perez. Don't fuck with me.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that it made me rewatch Sharknado.
I thought it was a movement at the time. I was like, Twisters is awesome, and I thought it was great.
I remember you watching that movie, texting me right after, and it was like, I never thought I'd say this, but I think my blood is 99% white and 1% redneck. I just remember
I was digging it, bro. They had the Oklahoma in me. I had the Oklahoma in me going crazy. Keep in mind, we're from like an actual city in Canada, like a Montreal. Everybody knows where we're from, but I'm saying like the Oklahoma's not. We're not built like them, bro.
Nope, not at all.
So when I was watching this, I felt like I was ready to go fight a twister. I still drive in the rain and think I'm Glenn Powell sometimes.
People have had like their phase of like Ryan Gosling is literally me. You're still on your I'm Glenn Powell face.
I'd love to be Glenn Powell. He's just awesome. He's awesome. Anyway, so I like how I said that this was the blockbuster of the year for me, but that's a lie because 22 is Deadpool and Wolverine, and if there was a blockbuster to end all blockbusters, it was this blockbuster. Nick, Deadpool and Wolverine's a movie we saw together.
Yes. We saw as a huge group.
We did. We were like 8.
Yeah.
We were a couple. Anyway, that the movie was I feel the same way about Deadpool and Wolverine than I do about Spider-Man Far From Home. Is it fan service? Sure. Do they actually put much thought into the story other than just feed you what you want to see? Not really. Does any of it matter?
But what they,
absolutely
but
not.
What they do though is like they're acknowledging what was going on, and that was perhaps like what I liked the most about this movie. It's just the fact that like, you know that regardless of what they say, they're as clueless as they were before because it's still the same company. They're just like wise enough to say, yeah, we know we done fucked up. We're just gonna let you know we know. Are we gonna fix it? Only time will tell. But here's a good movie for you. That's basically what I got from it.
It's funny because the MCU's been in a free fall, and Deadpool and Wolverine came out and it did so well, and everybody was like, "Yes, this is it.
Bro,
this
it
is the path."
So much money.
It did a lot. It made a lot of money.
A huge amount of money.
But simultaneously, don't get me wrong, the MCU still feels like it's in free fall. Like I don't have faith because of this movie, but what I will say is for the 2 hours and 30 minutes that I sat to watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's 2 hours and 30?
I think it's 220 at least. 220.
I got it. Bruh.
Oh, no, not even. 210. So for the 2 hours and 10 minutes I sat to watch Deadpool and Wolverine, I felt like the MCU was like peaking. Like not peaking in a way that it was like Avengers Infinity War. I felt like they were finally aware enough to understand the situation.
What made the movie,
what are we going to do?
Stick.
Yeah. And they were firing. They presented two characters that we love, and they were making them work together, and they had a plot, and they were giving us a bunch of fan service, and it was fun. Now, does that mean they've built something for the future? No. Does that mean this movie was the best movie of the year? No. But the comic book nerd in me ate it up.
I got a bigger question for you, though. Do you think... it's going to sound crazy there, but like, hang up with me for a second. Do you think that superhero movies would be saved if it was all about fan service? Because I feel like out of all franchises you can have, the amount of fucking content that exists, referencing your own like origins and making it interlinked is part of the fun. It might just be fan service at the end of the day, but it's kind of what you want out of it.
So
especially now that you know that they can't do it again, given like they've tried for like 5 to 6 years.
So here's my answer. I do think you can make superhero movies off fan fiction and you'll off fan service, and you'll get everything you want out of them. But remember when the MCU did more? They can't just do it anymore. Like they can't get away with it now, because it's been proven that they're able to make these narratives that are awesome, these character arcs that you want to follow. They're able to make their movies important. They're not just making they're not just throwing shit on the screen to throw shit on the screen. You know what I mean? So I think, yes, on a technical sense, you could get away with just making your movie a bloated piece of fan service. At the same time, you really should create a cohesive narrative. I think Deadpool and Wolverine had both. I think the narrative closed itself within the movie as well, though. I think that this was another Guardians of the Galaxy 3 situation where you have a really good entry, but you're not building towards the future of the MCU. We'll see. We have 2 MCU movies coming out, Captain America, Brave New World, and the Fantastic Four First Steps. Those are both
also
coming in
got
2025.
Thunderbolt.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. You get mad every time I forget Thunderbolts. I'm not forgetting Thunderbolts. I'm excited for Thunderbolts. What are the building blocks going forward? We'll see. What does Feige have in mind? Don't know. I think they needed a lot of money to recover some of the bombs that they've had recently. They got it with Deadpool and Wolverine. They can move on to their next step. And for me, it was a darn good time. Hugh Jackman was great. Ryan Reynolds was great. Everybody in this movie was great. The story was great. It's hilarious. It's very funny.
I just want to say how Hugh Jackman's performance in that movie kind of rejuvenated the role of Wolverine's to my highs. Because given like how it ended with Logan and how like the role was closed, I just saw him go. It was like, oh yeah, not only does he still have it, it's still relevant, and I still want more. I don't know. That alone was super cool.
Hugh Jackman Wolverine is like Johnny Depp Jack Sparrow. I don't think he'll ever die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't let it go. It's too good. And Ryan Reynolds jokes till you're 90, and he might be right. I want to see it. So
I want to see him in a geriatric center.
That'd be fun. No, what? Wait a minute. Wolverine.
No, as in like no. Like when they're 90 and like they're reminiscing on their old days, and all you see is them trying to be superheroes, but in a geriatric center.
It'd be funny. I would watch it.
It would be.
I definitely would. I would. Moving on to number 21, we have Andrea Arnold's Bird. Bird is a movie I watched this week, and that's crazy.
Which is fair, because I was about to ask you, what the fuck is it? I never heard of it.
What the? No, I know. I said I watched it this week. I watched it last night. Bird.
Yeah, I know. Was a movie
that premiered. Hell is that? Bird is a movie that premiered at Cannes Film Festival, then Telluride, then TIFF. So it's spanned over the course of the year. It's done its festival run, and it hit Mubi on December 23rd. I watched it. If I had a movie sponsor, this is where I would put it, but I don't. So I'm just gonna tell you what Bird is about. Bird is complicated. Bird made me super emotional for no reason. I was for no reason, because it's really good. Essentially, Bird is about like a 12-year-old who lives with her single dad. His name is Bug. He's played by Barry Keoghan. And she lives with him and her brother in this town. They're not very fortunate. They're low on money, and it's a pretty bad neighborhood. And essentially, he navigates. Like Bailey, the girl's name is Bailey. She navigates like the world around her as she goes into puberty. It's a movie that's hard to describe, and it's a movie that is hard to digest. You gotta like think about it, watch it, really appreciate Bird. But I loved it. I loved it on first viewing, and I think I'd love it if I watched it again. It's a slow burn. It's 2 hours. But it's a movie that like I felt like, you know there's a movie where you just feel it, like you feel it. Mm-hmm. I felt Bird. I really did. And it's ironic because I don't like birds.
Really though.
That's a dumb pun. But yeah, no, it's essentially like she goes and explores the world around her, and she meets this man who's played by Franz Rogowski, and his name is Bird, and he's kind of like a wanderer. He just goes from like town to town, but he's on his own mission and she's on her own mission growing up in this area. And it's about how the two of them come together and the life that they lead over the span of like a couple of weeks, I think. Absolutely beautiful movie. If I talk about it more, I get into a territory that I don't want to unreal. I think it's best to go into it blind, like I did. And this is me trying to like regurgitate my own memory in a letterbox synopsis. So it's really just going blind, try to appreciate it for what it is. I went in blind because Karsten Runquist told me to. Go in blind because I'm telling you to. Trust me, Karsten Runquist told me to do it.
Yeah, and if he tells you to do something, you must do something.
Yeah. Number 20, my first film. Another what the fuck? Another movie release. This movie is adapting a one-woman show. Like, I don't know if you feel me, but it's about a filmmaker named Vida who is revisiting her first attempt at making a movie.
Okay.
And it's a movie that explores like her life, and because it's like semi-autobiographical as well. So you have like a director who's in it. It's complicated to really explain why. Another one that's just best to go into blind. It's an experience. But the reason it's on this list is because this movie makes a case for art and why we make it. This movie is a artist's dream when, like, and I just to share why it's on it for me, when I'm trying to sit there and figure out what I want to write or what I want to create and what I want to do, and I think all my work sucks or whatnot, well, that's not an uncommon occurrence. That's not an uncommon thing when it comes to art.
It's a shared feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not shared on my work, but it's something that artists share.
Yeah, but like, but you could share it too. It's just a matter of fact, like it's so personal. You think you're like alone in the world when you're facing those issues, but everyone does.
Yeah.
It's just fun to see it in the film form.
And this movie does a brilliant job at conveying, like, really, like, the beauty of it, and it's about creating. It's about morphing yourself to create. It's about using what you know to create, using your life experience, going through experiences that will lead you to create. It's a movie that is not necessarily always easy to watch, but it is a movie that you appreciate the more and more that you think about it, and the more and more it goes on. It's really, like, it's very moving. Anyway, that's how I felt about it. And it's exciting. Like, it was a movie that I was watching and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that like the director, who is Zia Anger, is doing this like this. This is weird. This is original. And when you see something and you go, that's weird, it's often because it's different. It's something you're unfamiliar to. But that's kind of just what life is, you know? So she kind of throws all of the emotions and all of the workload of experience at you, and she kind of lets you digest it in your own way, and I digested it in my own way, and it ends up on my list. It's my number 20 movie of the year. I really did enjoy my first film. I'm going to oh shit, like, I'm back on my bullshit.
What are you doing? No way.
Number 19, Longlegs. I think now we're straight rolling to the end of this with movies that were popular enough. I'm not digging up anything special here, but like I said, all of these movies are worth checking out. But number 19, Longlegs, directed by Osgood Perkins. It's a collaboration with Neon. It was my favorite marketing rollout of the year. For a long time, it was my favorite horror movie of the year. Longlegs is fucking awesome. And it's a slow burning creep of a film with a great performance by Nick Cage and a subtly awesome performance by Micah Monroe. It's a journey within its own. It makes 100 minutes feel like 4 hours, but it's worth it. It's the payoff is worth it. It's just a movie that meticulously crafts itself, and it's a movie that you take patience. It takes patience to watch, but it took patience to make. You know, you could tell that things are placed intentionally. Things are meant to make your stomach churn over time. That leads to a final sequence, a big payoff, etc. And Longlegs has it for me. It really did it for me when I watched it in theater. It did it for me again when I watched it on a rewatch. which is difficult. I feel like this is a hard rewatch of a movie because of how long the first two acts are, how slow they are. But if you stick through it, man, that third act is popping. Like it's really crazy, and it feels like you're paid off for all the hard work that you do. Stylistically, the movie's amazing. The choice of lenses, the choice of color, the choice of angle, including this is a still shot from the movie, right? Like, you know, the one that you see on your screen right now, and it's a cut off of Nick Cage's face. That's done intentionally, and it's creepy. It's creepier than if you actually saw his face. And that's why it's like that. Longlegs was awesome. It was a darn good time. Osgood Perkins is back in February with The Monkey, and I'm so excited. Bang.
Whoa, that is you're asking for trouble here.
Controversy strikes at 18. Joker Folie à Deux. Unironically, before doing this episode, I was just watching Jeremy Jahns do his top 10 worst movies of 2024. Joker Folie à Deux was on it, and I just laughed to myself because I'm like, no, I'm not Jeremy Jahns, but this is fucking hilarious because it's actually one of my favorite movies of 2024. Joker Folie à Deux, there's been a million theories. It's one of them that was that Todd Phillips told the studio he didn't want to make a sequel. The sequel said, we're making a sequel anyway, and so Todd Phillips took the money and made this, and he was like, fuck you. And this movie does scream, by all accounts, fuck you, because it's a Joker movie that it's also a musical starring Lady Gaga. It has little to no narrative that really takes you from point A to point B, like as in the distance between point A to point B. It's extremely short. Not much happens, but at the same time, I felt so much when I watched this movie. I was like, everything feels intentional. Everything feels awesome. Maybe it's my naivete to the whole thing. Maybe it's my I'm turning a blind eye to the idea that it could be bad. But I've watched this movie twice now, and I felt the same way both times. I was like, I really do not see what there is not to like about this. And I know you felt the same way after watching it.
100%.
Yeah, it's what's good about Joker Folie à Deux. Well, Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are perfect, aren't they not? And everything looks great. Like the colors and the angles and the way it's filmed are awesome as usual. Sure, there is a musical part to it, but the musical numbers. Musical.
How can you not love musicals?
I like musicals, but I think the musical parts are interesting. Like, you know, they come and elevate part of the story. They elevate Joker's mind, like his psyche. Isn't that what Joker's all about? Like, I don't know.
I feel like this movie
didn't get it,
such a bad
or somebody else
too,
didn't get it,
because like it got such a bad rap because people were not expecting that kind of character development. They were expecting like the build off to something insane, but at the end of the day, you just got a human. And people did not want the human. They wanted the Joker. And I guess it's just meta that the reception to this movie is as lukewarm as people are in the movie, that the Joker is not the Joker. I don't know. It's just misinterpretations and all of the above to just lead to the result it did.
I don't know. Like, I feel like we're part of the really small minority. But yeah, no, I really like Joker Folie à Deux. And I invite anybody to argue with me, and I'll debate for hours. But I thought that movie was awesome. I really did. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I'll go in circles. But yeah,
and we already did for an hour.
We did. There is a podcast. Joker Folie à Deux, number 18 on the 2024 list. 17. I'm going to skim through this one really fast. Dario is awesome. It is a testament to good writing, good conversation, and good acting. Dakota Johnson and Sean Penn literally spend an hour and a half in a taxi cab talking to each other. That is the movie. That is the plot. They explore relationships and dynamics of age and mentorship, and you know, the idea that someone might know more than you if you're just willing to listen, you know. And it's just really good, really well written, really well acted, and yeah, it's simple filmmaking at its finest. I really like Daddy-O at 17.
And I always remember you telling me about it. Oh yeah, it's fine. I was just interjecting.
It's okay. No, you're saying you
throughout
remember
the year you were always telling me how like this movie was just like a good movie as it like stand on its own. Like it's not, as you just said, it's not complicated. But at the end of the day, it really just, it's rare you see nowadays movies that are just going for a simpler route and letting their message and their intention speak for themselves.
Absolutely. That's how I felt about Daddy-O. I really enjoyed that one. 16, Smile 2. Would I ever think when I saw the trailer for Smile 2 that it would make my end of the year list? No. Am I happy that Smile 2 is on this list? I mean, absolutely. Smile 2 was another movie we saw as a big gang. You were there, Nick. If this wasn't the most fun I think I've had in a horror setting for this year, I don't know what is. It might not be the most effective horror. It's traditional horror. So sometimes it's cheap horror, but it's a lot of fun. I think the smile thing really works. Like this running theme, like this you know, the shtick, it really works. Like, you know, like this is their thing and it's gonna work for at least another movie. I think
yeah, for sure.
You know, you can make the case that it should be done here. You can make the case that it should never be done. The whole smile thing is fun. Like the whole thing is fun. The marketing, the movies, they're really fun. And I didn't think they were gonna...
standout performance too. Like I think that
yeah,
is a big part of it
I wasn't
as well.
even gonna do it. You thanks for, like, I wasn't even gonna do it. Thanks for reminding me. Naomi Scott. She's not going to be nominated for an Oscar.
But damn it.
But she should.
Honorable mention.
Like, she should. She's good. Like, she's really good. She's awesome. I want her in my movie. Like, you know, like, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't know how anybody couldn't feel that way after watching her in this. She's like a scream queen, right? So she should be in every horror movie ever. She was fantastic in this. And I think in the podcast episode that we recorded for this, which we did, we praised Naomi Scott's ability to be subtle too. In some of the scenes required to be like in a mental breakdown state, not just a fearful state. And she was really good at it as well. And Smile 2 was just a darn good time. I was laughing. I was
in a darn well written script. It
was just effective horror.
Yeah. And it was so
like it
tight.
Was just good.
It was like tick tack, tick tack, tick tack all the way through.
It was just 2 hours and like 20 minutes though too.
Yeah, but it was every time you bounce off of things. Like it starts a bit slow, like after the opening act, but after that, blazes.
It's true. The movie's awesome. Some people weren't crazy for the ending. I think the bigger and better you, like the deeper you went, the better. The more riskier you went, the more you put your balls on the table.
Too. Yeah, that is also a thing though. Like the ending did not take anyone by surprise, which is I think where people usually like have gripes with a movie.
I was talking about the ending. I was talking about the like the third act, like the freezer thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
the
I know
freezer scene was so sick. My one-liner on Letterboxd is about the freezer scene.
I know. That whole sequence was awesome in my opinion as well. I think some people would have preferred like a more subtle, simpler route, like the first movie had. Granted, I think fucking jack up the stakes, let's get crazy. That's what Smile 2 does, and that's what I really appreciated about it. At number 16. Number 15, though, Saturday Night. I just said that Smile 2 was some of the most fun I've had during a movie theater. Saturday Night was the other.
Bro,
Saturday Night.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think out of like all the movies you've covered this year, this is perhaps like one of the most important, or the one you had like the most involvement with media wise. And I think we should start with that.
Sure. So what was insane about this, that's a good idea. What was insane about this movie is that we saw it and then we spoke to John Schneider of the SNN, which is the Saturday Night Network. The podcast is up on wherever you're listening to this now, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. It was a great conversation. You learn so much about Saturday Night. This movie has rejuvenated my love for Saturday Night. And when I say this movie, I mean the fact that I spoke to him, the research I did for it, everything that had to do with the coverage of it. It made me want to watch Saturday Night Live more. and I think I've seen every episode this season on account of that, because I'm awake at 11:30 on a Saturday watching this shit. So it's Saturday Night is so special because it recounts a point of history in television, in media, in creation, in the art world that I want to be in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention in the coolest fucking city in the world. I've been to New York 3 times now. I'm like a kid in a candy store when I'm
Everyone knows Wetaskiwin is the best city in the world.
Wetaskiwin ain't shit. Sorry, Wetaskiwin. But it's
how do you call people from Wetaskiwin? Wetaskiwiners?
Yeah, I was gonna say Wetaskiwiener.
Yeah,
it's gotta be a Wetaskiwiener. I'm gonna ride with Wetaskiwiener because it's funny. But no, it's a love letter to New York. It's a love letter to television. It's a love letter to the comedy geniuses that have led and pioneered for the younger generation. It's just a friggin' awesome time, a darn good time. And yeah, I absolutely love Saturday Night.
And an even better time when you consider that you can learn about the behind the scenes of how it actually happened. It's just it's the like small bit of context that actually like seals the deal as a great experience.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. You mentioned it when it first came up on the screen. I definitely watch the interview I did with John Schneider and then watch this movie, or watch them like back to back. It offers like a full picture. I really think we did a good job this year with this movie at capturing like a full picture of what SNL is at that time. Thanks to his insight, thanks to my review and our coverage of it all on the podcast. Yeah, Saturday Night's awesome. Number 14 though, we're closing in on the top 10. Inside Out 2. I mean, what do you say? Pixar cracks my favorites. I don't go out of my way to watch Pixar movies, but they just seem to like fall on my lap, and I'm like, shit, you were actually awesome, weren't you? And Inside Out 2 is a movie I saw twice in the theater. It might be it's one of the few movies I've seen like 4 times this year, because I just keep rewatching it with everybody. It's digestible, and it's just a nice, beautiful time, and it's all the points that you can give praise to with the first one you'll find here. Keep in mind, all of these movies have a review up on the Instagram page, which is linked everywhere, and you have a good idea of what my real thoughts, my extensive thoughts on some of these are. But real quick, Inside Out 2 is giving love to the emotions that humans face, and I don't mean that in a way that they're literally putting them on the screen. They're showing love to humans as humans in their purity, in their emotional sense. Like they confirm that it's okay. Another movie that kind of just goes to support humanity and humans through various emotional hardships or complete and total happiness. It's a great time. It's funny. It's sad. It doesn't make you angry. I was going to make a pun with all the emotions, but it's really just funny and sad. It's just a great time. Inside Out 2 is awesome. And it can bring a grown man to tears. So that's Inside Out 2. Number 13. Oh, Nick.
It's all right. I've come to terms with the fact that you have no taste.
Wow, that's wild.
I'm kidding.
That's wild. Anyway, number 13, Nosferatu. We're closing in on the top 10, but you might as well count this one. The Nosferatu is a movie that we just saw. It was the last theater experience we had. No, that's not true. Baby Girl was. It was the last good theater experience we had of the year. Nosferatu is really special. And I remember walking out of it, and you were really excited, and I really just shut you down because I was miserable about some things. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I want to be Count Orlok so bad, bro. Like, he's him. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Such a wrong way to like that movie.
I'm kidding. No, I don't really want to be him. No. I don't mean it like that. I'm just fucking. No, I know. But Nosferatu is
I think Nosferatu although you can attest that it's at this position for a reason. I think it's too recent to actually comment upon. You know,
I think I could tell you what I liked, what I didn't like. It's at this position because I felt like there was some movies that just rolled better. I do think this movie had some pacing things that I didn't like. I think that this movie had a near perfect cast, though, a near perfect performance coming from Lily Rose Depp. I think the movie is awesome. I think that, the only two, like I said, the only two critiques I had of Nosferatu, and this doesn't even get itself a full podcast because of when it comes out, of course, but the only two issues I had with Nosferatu is, number one, I didn't feel the effects of Count Orlok the way I wanted to, and number two, pacing. The rest, you're looking at a perfect movie. Robert Eggers does it again. The movie's scary, spooky, visually mesmerizing. It's tough because it's like, those old videos that people used to put on YouTube where it was like a car driving through like the on the Sunset Valley, and then there'd be just like a jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what his movies are like, because you're looking at some beautiful images and then something just spooks the shit out of you, and that's really what Nosferatu does. It's beautiful imagery, cinematography that is awesome. Robert Eggers doesn't make movies, he just makes art. He makes spooky art. He's a campfire horror storyteller with a camera. Like, he's really just, he's awesome.
He's a master of having dark scenes and making them pop.
He really is. He really is. I think he shoots a lot of day for night.
Mm-hmm.
The way it looks, like he shoots a lot of day for night, but he plays with his colors so well. His post-production game is insane. Like, that's all I'll say. He really knows what he's doing. Robert Eggers does it again. Nosferatu 13 on this list. Do you have anything you want to say about that before I switch sides?
Not at all. I believe that people just have to go and watch it.
They do, eh?
Yeah. Really just is as simple as that.
We went. I'm more excited. Rushed. I won't lie. We rushed it because I wanted to see it before I made this list. Like, I felt like I had to, but I would have. This is a movie I probably would have liked to have seen like twice. Like,
fair.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
just it would have either made it a high, like half a star higher or half a star lower. Like, it would have sealed the deal. It
would have helped with my ideas of it all a little bit, and I could have gone to see it twice.
The only reason I want to skip is because I know the next movie I'm glad to start talking about.
Okay, so number 12, Furiosa Mad Max Saga. Fuck you for not going to watch this. Not you, Nick, but everybody else who didn't go see this. That's crazy. Furiosa bombed this year, and it was because of people like you. Not you, Nick, again, but the people at home who were like, who really wants to watch Mad Max again? Well, fuck, we're never going to get to see it again because you fucked it for us, because fucking Furiosa made no money, but it was by far the greatest action movie of the year.
Yes.
Anya Taylor-Joy,
perhaps
fucking
Chris
awesome.
Hemsworth, best performance.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that you literally missed out on the best performance Chris Hemsworth ever has put on screen ever. The movie is awesome. The movie is paces so swiftly, like you zoom through this, like,
and we went to a special theater to watch it. Like, we had this special experience. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like the super wide screen there.
It's a 270 degree screen. Yeah, screen X. Yeah. It's a crazy ass movie, man. The action sequences, the color is so vibrant, the acting so good. It makes you. That movie made me excited to like make action. Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like there's like a common theme in Hollywood where action movies kind of get chalked up to just being action movies, and I think you could really, blame like that Jason Statham era of action where he was like in every single movie ever.
Single era though, like in the 80s you had Arnold.
Sure, fair enough.
Like in the 90s you had I don't know who. Like, at the end of the day, it's just.
But I feel like the plot gets lost because let's not fuck around. Furiosa premiered at Cannes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this movie's a movie. Like, this movie is a beautiful narrative movie. And I'm shocked because Mad Max Fury Road was like so well received and this one got no love. So I was kind of mad. But Furiosa Mad Max Saga at 12 is exactly where it should be, and I feel like everybody who didn't see it should stream it at least, so that George Miller can fund another one, because we need more of these. They're awesome. All I want to say is that if Joker Fadi Adur was a controversy, Nick, you're gonna help me with this one?
Yeah.
Because number 11, dog,
bruh,
Spaceman, dog.
Whoa. Okay.
So
I think we need to give people some context first.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, I will. Back in March, Netflix makes a movie. It has Adam Sandler in it and a flying spider, voiced by Paul Dano. And it comes out, and critics were like, whatever, bro, 6 on 10. Or 3 on 5. You know, like, it wasn't good. It wasn't that good. It was ass. It was okay. It was whatever. Whatever, right? No, it wasn't, bro. Johan Renck directed the most beautiful movie I had seen up until, I don't know, bro, The Wild Robot. Spaceman is special to me, okay? Adam Sandler is my child.
It was the center of your life for like a month straight.
I'll fight people over Spaceman. Don't fucking
bro, I remember
from
March 1st, okay, till April. At least, like, no. Until, like, what was the name of that
until,
movie?
Like, the next big movie.
Yeah, but what was its name? Like, not The Fall Guy, but the movie that came at the same time as it. I forgot.
Oh, Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah, probably.
It was Love Lies Bleeding.
Okay.
And Dune Part 2.
Yeah, regardless. The point is, Spaceman was the center of our attention for so long.
It's because everybody hated it, and I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. I did not understand what was there not to like. Adam Sandler was awesome.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Putting it at 11 shows this is a personal preference list.
Well, yeah, it is. I
not
told
a
everybody
ranking
to
list.
argue with somebody else.
Yep. But B, for its look alone, it deserves that spot. It is one of the most beautiful movies I've seen.
It was beautiful, and it had Adam Sandler. He was awesome, and then Paul Dano doing Hanus's voice, and he was like chilling. All he wants to do is eat peanut butter, and it's about like regret and isolation, and what are you gonna do with yourself when it's all said and done? Are you truly fulfilled as the man that you want to be?
He's the original chill dude meme. I'm just a chill guy. Hanus.
Hanus is, but the movie is just like, I don't know, man. It really was everything to me. It rocked my shit when I watched. I was like, wow, this is it. This is crazy. And everybody tells me to watch Solaris and Ad Astra, because I have not seen Ad Astra. And everybody's like, just watch Ad Astra. It's literally that. And I'm like, fuck you. Hanus, but I got cooler.
Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting for you to put it on your like top 4 favorite movie list.
I'm never gonna do that, because I have like 4 other movies I like more. Actually, I have 10 more movies I like more this year. We're closing it on the top 10, bro.
Oh,
yeah, top 10. Number 10, Conclave. Conclave is a movie that is just another one of those bulletproof ones, but this one had like some more meat to it, in my opinion. I said The Bike Riders was just a bulletproof movie earlier. Conclave is like
bulletproofer.
Conclave, yeah, it's not just bulletproof, or it's shooting back. Like, you know, like it's got something to say, and it's got performances that bite. Ralph Fiennes should win an Oscar. He probably won't, but he should. And this movie's well directed, well paced. It's got some thrill to it. Stanley Tucci and John Lithgow and Ralph Fiennes, they're awesome. And Isabella Rossellini, who's also on the poster that you see on the screen. The movie's damn near like a perfect political thriller. And it's a movie that is Oscar baity, but deserves to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, but it does. For people who haven't seen trailers or anything, just look at some of the stills coming out from this movie. They're special.
They really are special. It really is. They really are. If you just watch the trailer, like, because that'll tell you a lot. It's got like a lot of gut to it. I like Conclave a lot. It was a movie that I was like, okay, yes, you are like Oscar baity, but I'm like with you. Like, you know, like I'm rooting for you. It's like the Yankees, if you want. Like, you're like, yeah, you're supposed to be good, but like, fuck the Dodgers. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, you know, like, I know I was going for it. I was just rooting for it. I'm pulling for it to win whatever it can, including Ralph Fiennes Best Actor. Yeah, Conclave was awesome. Number 10. Number 9, The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot is my highest ranked animation movie of the year. Inside Out 2 was the only other one on this list. The Wild Robot is whatever Inside 2 isn't in terms of making you feel emotion. Chris Stuckman actually had the best quote. He's like, I think The Wild Robot's made for everybody. I think parents might feel it more. I'm not a parent, but I felt it, like, as just a guy, like, you know, like, as just a nice guy trying to do well in the world. The Wild Robot just makes society feel like shit, and then you just want to be better. And it's one of these movies that it's another one that packs a punch. It's got brilliant voice acting. It looks pretty. It's a meticulously crafted book adaptation, and yeah, it's really special. The Wild Robot was and is my favorite animated movie of 2024, and it's one of my favorite messages the year had to offer, if not my favorite message that the film had to offer. Number 8, Glen Powell Strikes Again. Never in a million years would I thought to have said Glen Powell is twice on my top 25, but he's twice on my top 25.
And last year he was too.
Yeah. So just to offer more context as to why this is so important to me, in January, I did a Sundance class with Richard Linklater, where he sat and like spoke on a seminar, and I was just like, this guy's a fucking genius. And then I went and watched the Before trilogy, which he wrote all of and directed it, and I was like, he's a fucking genius. And then I watched Hitman, and I was like, there's no way he's going to do it to me again. And he really just did. Richard Linklater has a knack for taking stories and just making them like work in front of you. He's human, and he makes his characters look and feel like humans. Hitman is you know, a little overblown on the theatrical side, but he keeps it so grounded. It feels like you're watching like a coming of age tale. Like it really does feel that way. Hitman makes you laugh. It makes you care. It's got some thrill. It's got some sadder moments. It's a great testament to Linklater's ability that he's built himself over time. His writing and his directing. Hitman's awesome, and it's Glen Powell's highlight. Glen Powell does things in this movie that no one ever thought he had the range to do, and it'll lead to bigger and better things for him going forward. He is, I think, the next movie blockbuster superstar, in that same way that Tom Cruise was back in the day. Although
wasn't it Tom Cruise that said that Ryan Gosling was the next one up? Like, who said that?
He thinks Timmy Chalamet is.
Yeah, but who said for Ryan Gosling that to replace him?
I don't know, but
wait, I'm gonna Google that because I remember.
But Glen Powell and Ryan Gosling share that same type of ability to be dramatic, to be funny, to be an action star. They can do it all. Very versatile, and Glen Powell can do it. Like, he really could. I think they're everything that Chris Evans should have been set up to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the shame, because Chris Evans could do it as well, and but these guys are just running away with it right now. Like, Glen Powell is awesome, Ryan Gosling's awesome, and yeah, they're gonna run the next generation. Well, Timmy Cruise is still around, but they're gonna be running it for a little while. That's for sure. Did you find it? Or should I,
no, I didn't. It kind of pissing me off.
Okay,
Sylvester Stallone said that if there was one guy that could replace him for Rambo, it would have been Ryan Gosling. Sorry to interject.
It's okay.
Yeah, but like,
that's interesting. That's a testament of one of the best action stars that there is too. Mm-hmm. Like, that's right. That's Sylvester Stallone is not a pushover when it comes to the action game. So that's pretty cool. I was maybe referring more to like the versatile part of it all. Yeah. Which I don't think Sly Stallone had.
Nope.
Granted, he proved it as he got older. Like, his roles in the Creed movie, he showed he could be super dramatic. But Glen Powell is showing it early and often. as is Chalamet, as is Gosling. He's shown it for a while now. But yeah, Hitman works because of that, the Glenn Powell Linklater combination. Linklater inviting Glenn Powell into the writer's room to refine some of his character, to get it really rolling the way it works and the way it should be. It's a great movie. It really is. It's definitely the smallest movie in my top 10. And when I say small, I don't mean like budget or anything. I mean like story-wise. Like it's just a simple type of thing, straightforward, and it just works. It just works. Across the table, we have the stark contrast, which I think is a stark contrast to literally any other movie on this list. But number 7, The Substance. The Substance is the movie that just got hype and just kept getting hype. Like, it just worked and worked and worked its way to the top. It was popular. It was trendy. It was everything that it wanted it to be, and then some. Margaret Qualley, Demi Moore, Coralie Farget set up a trio from like hell. Like when they made this thing. This thing is awesome. I remember just texting you one day and we're like, yeah, we gotta go see this movie called The Substance. Like, you know, like we gotta go see The Substance, and we pulled up, got our minds blown, literally mind blown.
Yep.
Because that's what The Substance will do to you. Another one that if you haven't seen, what are you doing? Like, you know, like
literally, like
what are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? How many people have to tell you to watch The Substance before you sit down to watch it?
And I remember when there's a movie down the line that we're gonna cover that we went to watch, and I remember like it's our most hyped movie of the year. We were in line waiting to like get in, and I just remember everyone talking about The Substance, regardless of the fact that we were gonna watch that other movie.
Yeah,
like that is
with a sold out crowd.
Yeah,
everybody was talking about The Substance.
Yep, that still blows my mind to this day.
And this was at an independent theater, right? So that's where you know you're getting the real fans. And The Substance like took the world, the cinema world by storm this year, and it's deserving of all the praise it gets. It's not the scariest thing, but it is just the coolest thing I think I saw this year. The most balls were put on the table when it came to The Substance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's original, the dedication, it's innovative, and it's dedicated. Like, really everything. Is. And you come to think about it, this is a. I don't want.
Would you qualify it as like the same kind of like runner up to like award season that Poor Thing had last year?
No, because it's even more than that. Like,
I get that it's more
sure,
than that. Like,
if you want to put it in the pipeline, sure. If you want to put it in that same pipeline, sure. But The Substance is like crazier than that. Like it's a lot more than that. Yeah, and The Substance will push its way to the Academy, in my opinion. I think it should. I think it will. I'd be surprised if it didn't. I'd be upset if it didn't, because this is what the people want to see. Like, you know what I mean? You have a million of other great movies, but this is the one that people were pulling for all year. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and
to see it close out with a nice award season run would be awesome. Speaking of a movie that feels like it's gonna get a good award season run, Sing Sing. I'm not gonna say too much about Sing Sing because there isn't so much to say. It's a beautiful movie about how art prevails over the perception you might have on humanity. It's essentially about a group of prisoners who practice in theater, and they all have their own life issues, obviously, but they sit and they meet on a weekly basis to practice the play that they are going to play for the other inmates. It's a touching movie. It's a really beautiful movie. The artistic direction of it all is awesome. I was just arguing about how I wanted to see Ralph Fiennes win Best Actor. Coleman Domingo is awesome in this movie. He is the movie, literally. Without him, it doesn't work nearly at all. He's perfect in this thing. And Sing Sing is a shame because it's A24's best movie of the year, and they buried it, and it didn't get any screenings anywhere. Like, no one saw it. but they're re-releasing it in January because of the award hype. So please go watch Sing Sing. It literally might change your life. I won't say anything more. Top 5, A Different Man, another A24 film. Just bumped a little bit higher than Sing Sing for me. Different Man is Sebastian Stan, literally at his best, and it's been a great year for him. And I know he played Donald Trump in that other movie that's not on this list, but in this movie, he is, talk about like a mental breakdown. Like, talk about like acting not as somebody but as yourself. Like, you know, like you're playing a human, not a human that already exists. You're inventing a character through your own method. It's a movie about self-appreciation, self-acceptance, you know, self-love, if you will. It's an important movie. It's a movie that will really change the way you think about what you think of yourself and what you think others think of you. And it's done in one of the most artistic, innovative ways. That's a beautiful shot. It's beautifully shot. Film grain, acting, colors. They bring it all, really. I remember on another episode of the podcast, I was talking about this movie, and I was saying how it's got like that warm, fuzzy feeling, but it's delivering one of the coldest stories ever. Mm-hmm. And that's really what I feel about A Different Man. That's really why it works for me. That's why it's this high on this list. You know, the next 3 movies, I've interchanged the position a million times. This is the 2, 3, and 4. Number 1's been a lock, but 2, 3, and 4 have changed a million times. Number 4 right now, Wicked. Wicked is...
Wicked.
Wow. Wicked is almost... feels like Wicked is everything that people didn't think it was going to be. Mm-hmm. I feel like when it came out that it was this movie with a massive budget, with a this and that.
The biggest underdog story of the year.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that given the budget. I want to say that based on public reception. I was sure it was going to bomb. I was sure it was going to be the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And I was proven wrong.
Wicked prevailed. The theater kids rejoice. Like, what do you want to say? The movie is people have said that it has no color. I think it's beautiful. I think it's brilliantly acted, brilliantly performed. It has great direction with John M. Chu. It's a movie that made you feel like you were watching a theatrical performance. Like, I can't think of any other way. It's by far the biggest movie I've seen this year in terms of scale. There was nothing like it. There was nothing comparable to it, especially when you go off a world, a story that everybody knows and loves. That was, last time given a true effort in 1939. Like, Oz hadn't been seen like that since then. There is movies that came in between, but there's nothing like Wicked and The Wizard of Oz, right? So, you tap Cynthia Erivo, who is a brilliant actress with an amazing singing talent. Ariana Grande, who's re-dipping herself into acting, and she also has a brilliant singing voice. And you put them on screen together, and you get actually like one of the best movies of the year. Who would have thunk it? Wicked Part 2 comes out in November 2025, exactly 1 year after the first one's release date, and I'll be ready, sitting, watching it, because that's what this one does to you. It's just like, okay, let's continue, And also, I just want to point out that Wicked does the Part 1, Part 2 thing, and that can be annoying, but I find that that doesn't really work when there is a lack of fulfillment. But Wicked Part 1 is fulfilling enough. Some Part 1, Part 2s, you finish them and you're like, shit, I should have. Kind of sucks. I would have liked to have seen Part 2. I would have liked to have wrapped up the story. Well, Wicked doesn't make you feel that way. You are fulfilled with what you got out of Part 1. You are excited for Part 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, moving on. Top 3. Number 3, Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 came out a way ago. Like, I think we saw it in February.
Was it February
stuck with
or
me.
March?
Well, it came out in March, but we saw it in February. It stuck with me like ever since. Timothy Chalamet is him. Like, he really is. He's impressive. He's captivating. This movie, I don't think I've seen anything as epic as this. When was the last time you've seen a movie this epic?
I was just about to comment on how this movie is probably the most cohesive thing I've seen this year in terms of everything that is involved in it. And to answer your question, probably
like Avengers, Infinity War? Like,
no. I think I've rewatched like the first Lord of the Ring, and perhaps that like got on the same level of like epicness. But even then, it's not.
I just want to point out the difference. I'm talking about epicness and not scale. I did say Wicked was the biggest movie I've seen. I mean that, but it's not as epic as a Dune. Like, this movie brings like a feeling of just like primal warrior-esque to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
it really engulfs you in its world. Like,
it really
whether
does.
You're in it or not, you're really in it.
Like, you're trying to root
something
for
that
your
Star Wars
boys.
kind of failed to do. Like, with
well, if you're talking about the reboot,
yeah, like to immerse you in that world. And
because I think that the original. If you really want to talk about the original trilogy, they really do a great job at it.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, Dune is doing it. I think it's large in part to Denis Villeneuve, his ability to take the time to put together his world, and now you're reaping the benefits. Like, you know what it is. Like, you know what I mean. Like, you sat with Dune Part 1. You sat with him creating it all. This is the table. The table is set. Let's eat. And Dune Part 2 is straight eating. Like, you know, like, it's. I don't mean to sound. No, I don't mean to, I didn't want to talk like that, but I'm like, it really is though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just works. Like, it just works. It brings some great performances. It brought some great memes. I just realized Zendaya's in 2 movies in my top 3. That's crazy. She's a great actress. Yeah, Dune Part 2, a spectacle. Like a feast for the eyes, a feast for the ears, the sound effects. We saw it in IMAX. That was crazy. That was the best IMAX experience of the year as well. Dune Part 2. Designed for the big screen, but enjoyable at any time.
Yes.
Top 2, and it's not 2. Whoa, no, top 2 and it's not 1. Challengers. Luca Guadagnino made 2 movies this year. One of them was Challengers. The other one was Queer. I saw Queer. Queer didn't crack my top 25. I don't think it would have cracked my top 30. It didn't, obviously. It went to crack my top 40. Queer was a weird movie. My review, I didn't like it though, but I did like it. My review is up on the at CineClwd Instagram page. But Challengers. I had to clear my throat. Challengers transports you. You're no longer an audience member. You are wearing goggles that focus solely on the lives of 3 characters. I don't know if it's the thumping score that like Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross designed, like EDM shit, or the performances from Zendaya, Mike Feist, and Josh O'Connor, or is it the camera movement that Luca himself has designed, like the below the court shots or whatnot? It just makes tennis matches feel like literal war scenes. I don't know how to express how good this movie works, how good it works, and hasn't been anything like it all year for me. Like, nothing works at this level of intensity of like BPM. Like, it really felt like I was in a rave for like, I don't know, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and you reach a level of meta as Luca Guadagnino when you're making a tennis movie, but your whole movie feels like a tennis match. Like, you're throwing back and forth between like there's a ball and it's going from this guy to this guy to this guy to this guy, and you're following it as an audience. Like you keep tracking it, and the speed is picking up, and the stakes are getting higher, and the movie feels intense, and that's what Challengers is. And the cherry on top is Zendaya. Like she is going to get a Best Actress nomination. It's well deserved. She's so good. This is a movie that has made her like in my opinion, I think this is the movie that has put her like on a level where it's like Zendaya is an A-list actress. Zendaya is capable of fulfilling whatever role you need her to do, and that was awesome.
Now it's unattainable level. Like it's in the sense that like it's hard. It's gonna be hard to match her from now on.
Yeah, it's like she's there now. Like she's really up there, and I don't know. It was an awesome ass movie, and it's funny because it's been reduced to like the Zendaya threesome movie.
But
for like
the next
while.
movie is gonna be reduced for even worse.
But she's so good. Like the movie's so good, and she doesn't deserve to be reduced to the Zendaya threesome movie. I think this is a showcase of her acting ability, a showcase of whatever you need her to do, she's stepping up to the plate and delivering. And it's a great movie, a showcase of Zendaya's ability, a showcase of Luca Guadagnino's understanding of love, complexity, the human body. He relates tennis match to love. Like, yes, I know that comparison's been made a million times. Has it ever been made visually? No. And that's really the coolest thing about it. And it's literally a cast of 3 people. If you look on Letterboxd, it's Zendaya, Mike Fage, Josh O'Connor, and Darnell Appling, who plays the umpire. So if that gives you a good idea of how many actors are in this movie, not many. There doesn't need to be, though, because it's really these 3 guys, Mike Fage, Josh O'Connor, Zendaya. They help, they push Luca Guadagnino's vision. They fulfill the audience. It's perfection is the word I'm going to use. And, it's perfection. It's all time. It's awesome. It was my number 1 movie of the year for a really, really long time. Until late October, when we finally got it out here in Montreal. And it hit the screen. It hit the screens in, late October. And it stole the number 1 spot on my list from Challengers. Ladies and gentlemen, bro, it's Anora, dog. Crazy. Anora is the number 1 movie of the year for me. It's literally my. I've seen it 3 times. I've seen it 3 times. It's like feels like blood, sweat, and tears. It feels like people who have watched Sean Baker's movies are finally reaping the benefits of his public acclaim, and it's for such a good reason. This movie is so good. I don't know if it was your number 1 movie of the year or if Nosferatu edged it. It was still Anora.
It was.
There is nothing like this. You can search for something like this, and then you'll realize that the only person who's made another thing like this is Sean Baker. Mm-hmm. He's the only person who can make you feel this way.
I've never laughed out loud in the movie theater the way I did with this movie.
Honora's funny as hell, but it's also sad.
Yes,
it puts you in all of the emotion. Like it runs you through it all.
Like it gives you 100% in every single field it does. Like you're gonna be super happy, super sad, super confused sometimes. Just overall, what an experience.
Yes, it is.
Crazy.
It's 2 hours and 19 minutes of a roller coaster ride that you seemingly are you. Sorry, it's 2 hours and 19 minutes of a roller coaster ride that you know is going to end in the worst way, but you can't get off. Mm-hmm. Like you don't want to get off.
And somehow you want it to end well, even though you know it can't.
Yeah, you're rooting for it. Yeah. And let's chalk up credit. Mikey Madison working directly with Sean Baker creating this character as Honora, somebody who is so specific, tailored to fit the actor that plays it. You know, then you place the people around her. Mike Edelstein, who plays Ivan, who is the fucking blood and soul of the comedy of this movie. He's hilarious. Then you have Yura Borisov, who plays Igor, who's getting a lot of love. Did you see he's nominated for like awards?
I did not see he was nominated, but
he's nominated for awards. I'm so happy. And it's really, you think about it, it's off one scene. Like when you think about that last scene in the movie, the end. He's awesome.
I mean, every single scene he was in, there was the sensibility that you could see that for a henchman, he had some depth, which was like already a good sign.
That's really cool too. There was depth to a character who otherwise didn't feel like he'd traditionally have depth, and that's what Sean Baker does so well. Is that he highlights the throwaways of society. Like it's a common theme where we spoke about it once before. Sean Baker's movies tend to be about, you know, like sex workers and stuff, and it's because society really rejects these people, and Sean Baker highlights them. That's what he does, and it's just funny because he does it with a traditional throwaway character in a henchman, and he highlights it to be a compelling counterpart to Annie, and in the movie. I don't know, man. I think Honora is like a classic, instant classic. I think it's a compelling movie. I think Mikey Madison should push at the Academy and at the Globes and everything that she can be nominated for. I think Honora will perform extremely well in award season. I think it's deserving of all the acclaim it deserves. I think Sean Baker it's finally Sean Baker's chance to place himself among the great directors of this era, because he is one of them.
What is also cool is that I think that compared to previous years, it really feels like, and I don't know if it's because we've been exposed to it that much, but like all of those movies, regardless of like they win or not their awards, they've cemented themselves. They've made a place for themselves, which you can't say for a lot of movies that like run for the award season, that like usually get forgotten with time. I feel like every single one of those movies stood out as like its own thing when it released. Like your top 10, that is.
Yeah.
And that is to me really, really cool.
They all feel like specific moments in cinema, and you know, it's a good time. This is also a cool chance for us to look back at the year that we've had watching all these movies, and we have these specific moments. We remember the night that we see Honora because of how special the movie is, how much it impacts us. You know, they're not necessarily moments in cinema history, but they're moments for you, they're moments for me. You know what I mean? That stick with us, and that factors a lot into the decision making of what makes a movie end of the year worthy as well. Like, you know what I mean? If like bad viewing experience can lead to a negative perception of a movie that was otherwise good. And you know, when you have a great viewing experience with great people and you watch a movie that hits you, that resonates with you, that you love, that's what more can you ask for? Because I keep comparing. I do keep mentioning the Academy Awards and, you know, award season, but none of that shit really matters. Like, you know, Honora has hit a level of buzz where Sean Baker, Mikey Madison have the attention. You know what I mean? You don't need to be validated by hardware. You have the attention. And you'll be able to keep the ball rolling. People are going to want to see your stuff. And that's, you know, what's cooler than watching
really ask for more.
No, exactly. And what's cooler than watching, you know, them win an Academy Award on stage? Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was sitting in the cinema on a Friday night, getting ready to watch a movie with literally people looking for empty chairs. Like, because everybody was like, this is the only theater in town that's playing Honora. We're showing up. And we were there.
Yep.
And it's like everybody's laughing and everybody's enjoying it. Everybody loves it. Like, you know, like eating it up. That's what makes movies special to me. But what were you going to say?
I was just going to say how we had twice this experience, and it happened this summer too, with the Fantasia.
We did.
Festival.
Fantasia was special. Festivals are cool, man. So like, I'm going to revert back to the first page. Oh, look at Stuckman. Now speaking of Fantasia, we saw Shelby Oaks. So speaking of Fantasia, Stuckman and Shelby Oaks, we saw that movie. I have a picture with Stuckman that I don't have on the computer, so I didn't bother throwing it up there. But yeah, that was awesome. That was an awesome moment. That is an inspiring moment for me. Shelby Oaks was a fun time, and I'm actually excited for people to see it and share what they think about it when it hits theaters.
And I'm kind of down to rewatch it too. Like I am as well. It's rare for me to want to watch a movie twice, but this one I would be down to rewatch it.
I want to see it again.
I'm curious. I'm actually curious. Did I miss some things? Like I remember like how it went, but just I'm looking forward to rewatching it.
Yeah, for sure. Me, as am I.
Bro, can we acknowledge he got picked up?
Yeah, by Neon, which is
that's crazy.
That is crazy. Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Sorry. But no, the festival scene, the premiere scene, getting to see these movies in with special audiences, with special people, getting to be a part of, talking to people who love them, who appreciate them, who know more about them than I do or that you do. That's a special thing. And the cinema space is only getting bigger, and it's only getting better, in my humble opinion. I think that we're on the right track as a collective, as a community. We have toxic moments, but we also have moments of just pure praise. And I think, when you compare the top 10 to our top 10, we find that this year. And I also, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't know of it before, but I've used the app Letterboxd a lot more this year. And it really is like a home for the community to and you could let your takes go. Like no one's gonna tell you that you have bad taste or something like that. Like I'm sure that you could find some shit posting, but some people just present ideas. I was reading a review of Joker Faliadur who thought it was awesome. They gave it 5 stars, and somebody was like, I didn't like it, but I cannot even disagree with what you said. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a healthy environment to be able to share opinions, to be able to like what you like and enjoy movies the way that they're meant to be enjoyed, which is just for your own taste.
Of free speech.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So that's pretty much what sums it up for us in the top 25 movies of 2024. The post will be up on CineClwd as a reference a day after this episode. So yeah, if you want to argue with somebody,
should have cracked that list. That's all I'm
Borderlands,
asking.
So you asked me if I was going to add like a worst movies of the year type of segment, and I said no because I don't like bashing anything, but I will do it. Borderlands is the worst movie of the year. That piece of shit should not belong anywhere. What the fuck type of nonsense is that? You want to hear me rant about Borderlands, or you don't want me to? Like, I'm not going to do that. It really belongs in the garbage. Studio overreach, nonsensical bullshit. I don't like that at all. And
had too much positive vibes in this hour and 30 of pure bliss. We had to bring back some shitters.
Yeah, I did have to fucking get mad at somebody. But no, 2025. Nick, you have resolutions in 2025 when it comes to this side of life that you want to try and accomplish?
Resolution as in like...
Is there anything in 2025 that you want to do in relation to what we do here that you want to see?
More premieres.
More premieres?
More premieres and more specific...
More events.
More specific coverage the way we did Saturday Night Live. I feel like those deep dives, those like all-encompassing, not necessarily all-encompassing, but those like when we reach out of our comfort zone, actually seek out for information and resources outside of what we usually do, it's extremely not only fulfilling, but instructive. Like we've learned so much from like the ways people work and how they manage to do things. I feel like it only showed that it's the more we are, the merrier, and that's what I want to replicate for next year, but for more movies.
That's awesome. I'm with you. I'm on the same wavelength. Festivals, premieres, talking to people, sticking my nose out. Personal note, more creating, getting the ball rolling. Life is short. Fucking make something.
Yes.
Like,
fair.
So yeah,
if you understand.
That's it. Thank you so very much for listening to this episode of the CineClwd Podcast. If you like this episode of the CineClwd Podcast, check out our socials. Like it, review it, do whatever you want. Join us on this ride. We're figuring it out along the way, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And I know Nick does too when I have him on. And we're gonna have a rotation of. Not a rotation. You're gonna be here the most, but we're gonna work in 2025 at
just like I
steadily
said,
navigating
it's fun to have
web.
People that from different perspectives.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
And
No,
talk
exactly.
About shit.
Yeah.
I'm not always the best guy to do so, although I'm pretty freaking good, I might say. It's just sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's just fun to hear from someone else.
It is. No, I know. But it's exciting because I'd like to think that I'm setting myself up for I'm trying to set myself up for a good year, a year of consistency, a year of growth, a year of fun, and I hope it involves working with a plethora of humans. So yeah. But first of all, thank you, buddy, for sitting with me for an hour and a half.
No
talking
worries.
about our favorite
My
movies
pleasure.
of the year. Nick, you got to tell everybody before you go, what's your actual favorite movie of the year? Don't tell me Anora. What was your favorite?
Yeah, but it's not a movie from this year.
That's okay. What was your favorite movie that you watched this year?
Okay, Mirror by Andrei
So
Tarkovsky.
1975, Andrei Tarkovsky's Mirror. Okay.
Yes.
And you're telling me to go
Insane
watch it because I haven't seen it.
I've told you for the past 3 weeks.
I know. But have you seen how busy I am making this list? Anyway,
You make time for this movie. I'm telling the world that opening sequence.
So we're
is
opening.
the most
I'm
beautiful
opening
fucking
2025
thing.
with Mirror by Andrei Tarkovsky.
What a way to fucking put yourself in the dump.
What do you mean? Oh, it's
Bro.
sad.
Oh, it's freaking sad, man.
No shit, you fucked me. All right, well, we'll see. Anyway, like I was saying, thank you very much for listening to CineClwd Podcast, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and I wish you nothing but a good day.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir. Happy New Year, my guy.
Oh shit, it's Krimmer. Happy New Year, Merry
happy everything,
happy holidays.
whatever you celebrate.
Yeah, and if you're miserable, well then, fuck it,
Watch
man.
more
Get
movies.
happy. Did you notice, Nick, that I put the 2024 in the Brat color for Charlie XCX Brat?
I just noticed that the font was like extremely Spy Kids 3, so I thought, okay, he's on a vibe. I did not look out for the Shrek green.
It's not Shrek green, it's Brat green.
It also looks like Hotel's green, if you remember that album.
Hotel?
Let me... I don't remember.
I think we're dragging at this point. I was just trying to tell you it was Brat green. It was Brat green. Want me to...
No, you're going to get copyrighted.
No, I just played the first bells. Okay, I'm done. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye. Everything in between.